going on, everybody? It's Andrew Missionar, the alcoholic next door. Thank you so much for tuning in. And what we're going to talk about today is, the concept of dating in sobriety or marriage in sobriety, whatever we want to talk about in terms of, love and, getting sober, what your life is going to be like, how to attract a mate, are you capable of being loved, which is definitely an issue, something I struggled with for sure. And that was one of, my biggest fears was, how am I going to find a girl now that I'm sober, and I can't go to bars or I can't do that. And, let's be honest, you don't really find too many good relationships in a bar anyway. But, my wife and I just recently celebrated our 6-year wedding anniversary, which is nuts to me. A, that it's gone so fast, but B, that we made it to that point, because when we met, just to paint a picture, I was recently sober. I just got out of rehab in October. We met in May of the following year. I had just gotten laid off, so when we first started hanging out, we met at the gym. I was always there, so of course she asked me, like, you're here a lot, what do you do for work? So, first strike against me, I'm unemployed. So now I'm totally freaked out because I know this is the girl for me. And, I'm talking to my sponsor. I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, I've already told her I'm unemployed. Now I got to tell her, I'm a recovering alcoholic. Like, this girl's going to, run so far, so fast. And, honestly, like my sponsor, Tom, said to me, he was like, well, it is what it is. I mean, you are a recovered alcoholic. So, I mean, what are you going to do? Hide it? I stressed about that conversation, how I was going to bring it up, how I was going to say it. And, luckily it just kind of happened. And, I was so fortunate, the response, I was expecting the phone to hang up and say, have a nice life. But, the response that came back was like, actually my best friend's in the program, so I kind of have an understanding of what you're going through. And, it was such a relief. I mean, listen, there was a lot more questions. We knew we were going to be in this for the long run. So she wanted to make sure how committed I was, to staying sober, to, living a good life. And, but that brings up my point is, my fear was that I wasn't dateable, or I was never going to find love or a significant other, because I had admitted I was an alcoholic and I didn't drink anymore. So like, people would find that weird. But I mean, like, think about it. Like, if you're like me, whether you're a male, female, I mean, were you dateable or marryable, when you were drinking? I mean, this is the best version of ourselves. So, don't have that fear that you're somehow less than, or you're somehow, like this misfit or outcast, or you have issues because you're an alcoholic or you're an addict or whatever it is. I mean, I've said this so many times, like in so many different walks of life, whether it's a job, whether it's, being a father or a husband, or, in this case, for you out there, whether you'll have another shot at love. I mean, if anything, you should be more attractive to somebody now. So, don't have that fear inside of you, because, like, it's gonna happen. Like, don't hide behind it. If somebody has an issue, with the fact that you're an alcoholic, I mean, it's their prerogative. I mean, there's this years and years and years of stigma built up about who we are or what we are. So, you're not gonna win that battle. It wasn't meant to be, so move on. But, I know for me, I'm just such a better person. I'm so happy. One of the things I'm so grateful for is that my wife never ever had to see me as that person, to see me as the alcoholic that I was. And, it's crazy to her, when she hangs out with my friends and she hears stories, or, even reads some of these blogs. Like, I've never told her about some of this stuff, and it's, she can't even like fathom that it's the same person, standing in front of her, that, my buddies talk about, or I talk about in these blogs. And that's because I've changed, like, I live such a better life now. I'm such a better person. And so are all of you out there. So, I just encourage you, it's such a crazy, love geez, is there anything more complicated out there anyway? But don't overcomplicate it, thinking that, you know, you're less than, you're not as good of, you're not deserving, because you are. You know, you're better than you used to be. So go out there. You know, what's meant to be is meant to be. But I just wanted to bring it up because I was thinking about that while we were out to dinner. You know, how special it is that I was able to find it, and to think about all the fears that I used to have back in the day. So that's it for today. Just wanted to say thank you, as always, for sharing, for liking, for following. It means the world to me.